Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Let's go over to the CBN newsroom for today's top stories.
Gordon, just before the calendar turned to 2019, a prominent Democrat made some big political news. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren became the first in her party to announce she'll take on Donald Trump in 2020. Gary Lane has the story.
Before the crystal ball dropped for the big New Year's celebration in New York's Times Square, Senator Elizabeth Warren dropped some big news outside her Massachusetts home. She announced Monday she's launching a presidential exploratory committee. Warren explained the reasons why she wants to be president.
I never thought I would run for anything ever in my life, but America's middle class is getting hollowed out, and opportunity for too many of our young people is shrinking. So I'm in this fight all the way. Right now, Washington works great for the wealthy and the well-connected. It's just not working for anyone else.
During a phone interview Monday on the Fox News channel, President Trump welcomed Warren into the presidential contest. And he mentioned a campaign issue that will likely be used against the woman he calls Pocahontas, the results of Warren's recent DNA test. The president said she did very badly in proving that she is of Indian heritage. That didn't work out too well. I think you have more than she does, and maybe I do too, and I have nothing. So, we'll see how she does. I wish her well. I hope she does well. I'd love to run against her. Now that Warren is the first Democrat to announce, others are expected to soon follow her lead. More than 24 Democrats may jump into the presidential race. Among the likely candidates, California's Kamala Harris and New Jersey's Cory Booker. Hillary Clinton may think the third time is a charm and run yet again. But many Democrats say they'd prefer a younger, fresher face, someone like Congressman Beto O'Rourke. In November, he narrowly lost a Senate race in red state Texas. Bernie Sanders may also try again, and former Vice President Joe Biden has yet to decide if he'll jump in. Warren pledges to run a grassroots campaign against pharmaceutical companies and the high cost of prescription drugs. Also, she says she wants to do something to help young Americans crushed by college student loan debt.
And you could keep going through the list. The problem we've got right now in Washington is that it works great for those who've got money to buy influence.
But running against big pharma, big colleges, and Donald Trump will take a lot of money. In 2016, Hillary Clinton and her super PACs raised more than $1 billion, and she still lost to Donald Trump. And no matter who the Democrats choose as their presidential candidate in 2020, they may face an uphill battle. Last time, Donald Trump, a first-time presidential candidate, beat 16 Republicans and 1 Democrat to win the White House. Gary Lane, CBN News.
President Trump says he's ready to negotiate to end the government shutdown, but told Fox News not without border security.
I'm here. I'm ready to go. It's very important. A lot of people are looking to get their paycheck, and so I'm ready to go anytime they want. We have no choice. We have to have border security, and a wall is part of border security.
This comes one day after outgoing Chief of Staff John Kelly said in an interview that funding for a concrete wall along the entire border was already off the table. The president responded to that claim Monday, tweeting the concrete wall was never abandoned. The federal government has been in a partial shutdown since December 22nd, while lawmakers are unable to come to an agreement over Trump's demand for $5 billion in funding for the wall. A man shouting about Allah stabbed 3 people at a train station in Manchester, England last night. A woman and 2 men, one of them a police officer, were taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The attacker was arrested and counterterrorism officers are investigating. So far, they say there's nothing to suggest a wider terrorist threat. A Kansas judge ruled Monday the state cannot stop so-called telemedicine abortions. This comes after attempts by state lawmakers to prevent doctors from providing pregnancy-ending pills to women they see in remote video conferences. Mary Culp, executive director of Kansas for Life, called the ruling infuriating. She said in a statement this judge has a long history of taking laws designed by the legislature to protect unborn babies and women and turning them into laws that instead protect the abortion industry. This year's law was the 3rd attempt by Kansas legislators to outlaw telemedicine abortions. In Indonesia, at least 9 people are dead and dozens are missing after a deadly landslide Monday. Police and residents are searching for any survivors, but lack of equipment and bad weather are making recovery efforts difficult. Late Monday, massive amounts of mud rolled from surrounding hills and buried 30 houses in a village south of Indonesia's capital. Seasonal rains and high tides in recent days have caused dozens of landslides and widespread flooding across much of the country. Unemployment is down to record low levels, the lowest in nearly 50 years, but one demographic still struggles to find work, those with special needs. Caitlin Burke has the story of a Dallas business owner who's out to change that.
It's hard not to smile when you walk into the Howdy Homemade ice cream shop in Dallas, Texas.
Howdy.
You may notice something unique in the place, but then the samples start coming and you just get caught up in the experience.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How about you?
Good, thank you very much.
In North Texas alone, there are over 240,000 special needs adults looking for work. Howdy Homemade Ice Cream Shop is looking to tackle that statistic as the first for-profit business to only hire special needs workers.
There isn't anything that's warm and fuzzy about this. This is saying that we're a for-profit business. Our employees and the people that our employees represent are a huge opportunity for the restaurant industry and other industries to really start to hire.
Restaurant vet Tom Landis sees special needs employees as a solution to some of the industry's biggest problems.
Employee turnover and poor customer service, and those are both solved, I think, by people with special needs, that they're friendly continuously over and over again when the average employee just isn't. And at Howdy, we have a 0 turnover rate. You know, our guys love it, and they want to stay around.
When Landis first felt this inspiration, he wanted to give these workers the best shot at success. Coleman was Landis's first employee.
One of the big football teams has its annual dinner at one of my other restaurants, and we're busy, and Coleman was there as, I think, team manager, but he just kind of started passing out food and helping, and, you know, we just kind of noticed him of here's a kid that, you know, he didn't need to serve others, he was there, but not only that, he was so, I mean, he's, you know, I felt like by the end of the night, he had more friends in that restaurant than I did, and that, you know, he's exactly what the restaurant industry needs.
I like to help make the ice cream sometimes, but personally I also like to be friendly and say hi to the customers, or even say howdy to the customers.
Landis wants others to not only appreciate his business model, but to replicate it. And it's not just the restaurant industry he hopes to change.
It takes some additional upfront patience, love, but I think, I mean, God made those with Down syndrome to truly be the very best in the hospitality sense of the word. And then also those on the autism spectrum, there's just an incredible opportunity for those minds to be harnessed, I think, in the restaurant industry, but also beyond.
As word spreads, interest grows. Landis says at least 50 people want to franchise Howdy Homemade, with new offers coming in each day. Each and every employee not only exceeds their boss's expectations, but those of their parents, teachers, and even their own. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Dallas, Texas.